So it was a bit annoying, wasn't it? Good morning. Okay, little hay seeds. Make us some sheep feed. I'll probably have to censor all of it. I'm not allowed to turn on the camera until we're sure stuff is gonna work. Don't kiss anybody with that mouth. Can you say hi? Hi. Because I looked down at my feet, she's wearing fluffy socks and yellow Crocs. Good morning, everyone. We are hoof trimming. You've seen it a million times, but for new followers, we're gonna take off the very tip of the nail first, and then just clean off the sides a bit, because they kind of curl. These guys were just done, so they're actually quite good. We put through all the ewe lambs yesterday. The nails were really easy to do, however, they were squirmy. So it was a bit annoying, wasn't it? These are mature ewes. We're gonna do half today, and maybe half tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow's Saturday. I don't want to speak too soon for poor Carissa. I ran out of gland vac, and she is marked to get some. Now, my gland vac is supposed to arrive in a couple hours. We're gonna put them through anyway, and we'll have to run them through again to do that last few with their vaccine. Listen, no, you can't go that way. Maybe if I'll just bump her. Good. That's it. It's the best I've ever been. Don't get her all stirred up. Good morning. Not gonna lie, I'd like a spa morning, like right when I wake up. Did I ever tell you the one time I went to a manicurist, like a manicure pedicure, and the lady looked at my thumb, and she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I put it in a fan by accident." And she's like, "I can't fix that." That's the last time I got my fingernails done. Can't really believe it's this time already, but we are gonna transfer the rest of that feed over there into the front of this, and then as Carissa feeds, she'll incorporate bucket by bucket a little bit of old feed and new feed, just in time, because I think we are gonna try to plant hay here tomorrow, nice and close. Well, it pays to go away for a few hours. My husband took care of my little mountain of manure. We will be spreading this onto our fields, obviously, but we don't spread in the spring. We usually wait and we spread it after we take the weed off. So what we're doing across the road, we're actually stockpiling it behind the other barn because that's actually going to be a soybean field, but we're going to spread it after that comes off, I think. So we do spread all our manure. Fertilizer prices are through the roof. So as much as he complains about it, he does love having manure to cut down our fertilizer bill. Carissa did nose into the haylage bag, so as you can see, she's kind of like stirred it up and incorporated the old and the new. So over the next few days, they're gonna get introduced to that new feed instead of the big gush of feed all at once. The other thing that's going on is Mark is actually finally working our hay ground. We're a day early than we had originally thought, so that's exciting. Get it kind of worked, get it dried up with this air. It's cool still, but it's kind of windy and sunny, so that will help dry this up. Likely he'll roll it, and then we'll plant, and then we'll roll again. I'm just gonna try and see if he'll pick me up. He always tells me to stay away with my camera for like a good few rounds because nothing ever goes right, and he doesn't want me to film all the words that he says. Bad for the first day? Not ideal?
I think it's just going to be what we're going to deal with this spring. Less than ideal.
See? Willow. Good morning. How's my natty? Hi, Red. Hello, baby. Good morning, it's Saturday. I always have to stop at the barn first, no matter what the day, just to check in with Carissa, make sure there's no issues. I had a ton of mail and stuff sitting in the house since lambing, and I haven't put them in my office yet, so thank you guys for sending me stuff. I don't need anything, but sometimes people make things for me, and they're so beautiful and thoughtful, and I'm really grateful. Thank you for that. But I am on Mark's service today. I don't know where he is. I think what he wants to do this morning is fill the seed drill with our hay seed and get everything ready to go so that when the ground is a little more fit today, we're gonna try to plant it. Now what we did yesterday, the ground is not ideal. Not even close, but we had to kind of open up that winter crust, and there's a couple real wet spots in this field. It needs retiled, to be honest. Really needed to just open up that top layer, let the sun and the wind, there's quite a bit of a breeze this morning already, dry that layer up, and then when we blast it again, it should come up a little nicer. So we're gonna do that, I think, I would imagine noon or shortly after, and then hopefully go right after, either with the roller or the planter. I think if the ground works up better, then he'll plant right away. Are we gonna roll before we plant or after? Depends how wet it is. Oh, and the other thing, we bought mics, like wireless mics. So if I'm brave enough, we will put a mic on Mark and a mic on me, and you'll get a real feel for what is said. I'll probably have to censor all of it. One of the biggest questions I get asked a lot is like, what kind of hay do I grow? We grow a alfalfa and grass blend, but we're actually gonna put a nurse crop with it. We're gonna put some oats with it. That just helps establish everything, and it'll help give us a pretty good first cut. It'll be majority oats I would think, on the first cut. But we're hoping, it's been such a long, cold spring that the hay that we already have isn't very mature yet. Like it's just nicely greened up here this week. So we're hoping this stuff, if we get the right weather here quickly, it might catch up, and then we can put off maybe the first cut of the stuff that's already in the ground to match up with this stuff and take this stuff off a little bit early, and then we'll get a decent first cut. If not, we can still take our 20 acres that are already planted. We could take that first if we wanted. I'm gonna ask Mark what's actually in this blend. So I'll get back to you. Hello, supervisor. Thanks for barking orders. Before you start that, what's the blend?
It's on the tag.
Mark says we got a tag in here. Let's see what we got here. We have 2 different brands, varieties of alfalfa. Can you see? And we have Timothy and orchard grass. So the percentage is 48% Stellar 2 alfalfa, 32% Shield alfalfa. I'm assuming these are like name brands. What do you think, Lucy? 17% Timothy, 3% orchard grass. So that is the mix. I feel like an imposter when I try to talk about crops, even though I've literally grown up on a grain/livestock farm my whole life. He's just far more knowledgeable than I. Should have put my mic on. Why do they do, they have 2 different kinds of alfalfa, like 2 brands?
Just winter hardiness.
Okay.
It might just...
And then a lot of Timothy. Alright, we got 2 compartments here. A front compartment and a back compartment. It's looking like the oats are going back here. Oats are going back here?
Oats are in the back, alfalfa's in the front.
Alfalfa's in the front.
The only thing that separates how
is the meter.
what you put is the meter on the bottom.
And so you can dial whatever you want, whatever proportion you want.
In the back seat in the front. So the front is 40% of the size of the tank and the back 60. So it's a 60-40 split.
Right. So it would make more sense to put the bulkier seed in the back because it can fit more.
It's bigger.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to put on less seed and more fertilizer, you would put fertilizer in the back.
Right.
But when I was planting wheat, we had the fertilizer in the front and the wheat in the back because it worked out that both would empty out at the same time based on the size of the tank and the rate we're putting on.
Right. Okay, little hay seeds. Make us some sheep feed.
Crank it up.
Sure do. official. The sheep farmer is once again on grain farming duty, and my life is going to be split a little bit over the next few months, probably till December, if I'm completely honest. We do have the kids, but they both have full-time jobs, so the only time we could maybe nab them would be on the weekends if they don't have plans, and maybe some evenings, because they are staying with us this summer. They're boarding with us, free rent and groceries apparently. So it is just Mark and I every year. I find we should be getting used to this and getting better, but I think we just get more independent. There'll be some tongue biting. And if you know Mark and I, we like to tease. We have very snide humor. So it sometimes doesn't come off on camera very well. I'm just giving you guys like kind of a disclaimer before this whole season starts that we are very much in love. We have to be to deal with what we do every day. We're just two very different people and two different communication styles. So anyway, I'm almost at the end. I'll chat in a sec. Mark is actually right behind me. I don't know if you can see him over there. What we're doing is he worked it yesterday. We let it dry all morning. We're just sitting around noon right now. I'm rolling it to kind of press down any clumps that we have. He's gonna hit it right behind me again to knock those little clumps into hopefully a little more powdery consistency, and then likely let that dry out a little bit more, and then we'll plant later this afternoon, and then probably hit it again with the roller at the end of the day. And then over the next week or so, Chris and I will probably come around and just pick some stones that are still that could still trip the haybine or the harvester, God forbid, because Ethan will quit if I wreck his harvester. So yeah, stones are, you can hear the stones on the roller, but that's why we're rolling, partly because of that. Oh, lost GPS. I'll be back in a sec. Well, that was quick. That's the thing about a 30-acre chunk of land. It doesn't take long to get across it with a little bit of width behind you. And he's already half done with the joker, so now we just let Mother Nature, with the wind and the sun, dry her out again. Rolled, worked twice, so you can kind of see it's still a little bit gummy. So something like, we're hoping that something like this will break up pretty good. So that's, you don't really want those, but they are breaking up. So yeah, this was rolled. So once he hits that again, it should break up. We are planting, and I waited till we got the kinks worked out. I'm not allowed to turn on the camera until we're sure stuff is gonna work.
I don't want to document mistakes.
He doesn't like documenting failure. I document all. That is literally my channel.
I don't fail.
Oh, here we go.
Much.
Can you give them the lowdown on hay and what we do? I think I got the basics, but...
What do you want me to tell?
How many acres total do we grow for about 400 sheep?
We grow 50 acres, which we don't really need 50. We were doing 60. 60 was too much. We did 40.
40 wasn't enough.
So we do 50, and 50 still maybe might be a bit much. Yeah, so about 50 acres of hay.
And it sometimes depends if we get moisture.
Yeah,
like some
like
cuts, I think that's why we went up to 50, because when we planted 40, we got nailed with a couple dry cuts, and they were pretty shy.
Yeah, like
of
it's
yield.
Pretty much guaranteed it'll be a drought this year because we seeded down hay.
Right.
Because it happens.
Always happens.
Every time we seed hay, it's
Yep.
dry. You wouldn't know it right now.
No.
But
And then how many years do we keep a stand of hay, typically?
like, including the establishment year, like probably 4 years. So
Yeah.
3 years of like real hay, and then that 1 year of kind of like what we're gonna have here, where we take the oldage off, and then we'll probably have one more kind of hay after that, and then that's kind of it for
Year.
this year on this 30 acres,
Yeah.
and then we'll do 3 years after that.
Right. And then I told them that we were planting oats with, like, the back part of this drill has the oats in it, and we call it a nurse crop. Can you explain why it's called a nurse crop?
Well, one thing, it gives you a little bit more feed.
Right.
And I just always find that
helps it get out of the ground.
Yeah, it helps protect it a little bit. It's kind of just
nurses it.
Yeah.
Is alfalfa fussy?
No, you don't need to, but a lot of it, I think guys just do it.
It's just for yield, extra yield on that first cut.
It gives you some tonnage that first year of establishment. If you're planting it in the fall, like in August, you would just plant straight hay.
Right. But because we're doing it in the spring, it's a little more compressed.
We want the feed plus the hay.
Right.
So we're kind of cheating it a little bit, I guess you could say.
And how much do you like hay?
Well, it's a lot of work. It takes up precious land, like if we grow corn on. But it's nice to have something green in the spring.
True.
And it makes the soil nice.
Yeah, you like growing corn after you grow hay?
Yep.
It's good for rotation. He's on his last pass, and yeah, hay 22 is planted. Now we wait. We're supposed to get a nice little rain this week, so I think Jess and I are gonna run to town and grab some supper for everybody. He's gonna jump on the roller after this, and then we will be done this field, and our first field of planting is done, and it's still April, barely. Good morning. It's raining, which is nice for our hay, not so good for the crop farmer that the 14-day just changed and we're in for like a monsoon for a while. Today is weaning day, so we're actually going to do both pens. These ones are a bit older than I would have liked, and those guys are about the perfect age. So this is Maddie and Willow's pen. I want to kind of do them all at the same time, and then I can actually keep running the nanny for a few days just with water. I find it just helps. They stay on a nipple instead of trying to suck off each other. Sometimes they just kind of search each other for a nipple. It's just their natural behavior. So, but before we do this, that's going to be a big feed change. And when I do a big feed change, I like to give them this antitoxin. It's a clostridial basically protection, because they've been pulled off mums, so they don't have those natural antibodies running through them. So this just helps. I've been nailed in the past with lambs that just died a couple weeks after I've weaned them. So you've put all that money into them, and then they die from issues related to not having this. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna put everything in the Gallagher and get these guys weaned today. Yeah.
Just that sound, this guy.
You did it? Oh, good.
Smell like it.
It's all good.
Yeah, you can brush into her. Maddie!
Are you like Dad? Oh, yeah. Oh, you're so sweet.
You're just gonna sit on my lap?
Sure. Do it while you got them. Okay, that one's done.
Hi, sweetie. How's my tail? You're so pretty. Hi, Willow.
Don't kiss anybody with that mouth. Good girl.
that vaccine. I don't know what you're
Marked
talking
it. And it was
Kiki!
Kiki's huge.
Hi, baby. Hi.
Yeah.
You're so big, I can barely lift you up. Can you say hi?